Fire Emblem Three Houses is such a beautiful game that introduced us to an incredible world at a time when our own world wasn't doing so well. While the pandemic changed how many of us lived our lives and took some of our loved ones from us, video games became a helpful coping mechanism for many to fight off the isolation and uncertainty of lockdown. The two that come to mind the most are Animal Crossing and Three Houses. This entry in the Fire Emblem series has a myriad selection of incredible characters with interesting and emotional backstories. There is literally something in the story, dialogue, and unique character interactions to touch everybody's heart. For me, the stories of Marianne, Mercedes, and Bernadetta are especially touching, tragic, and potent. Join me tonight for Three Tragedies, the Sorrowful Ladies of Three Houses.
There's no reason to feign ignorance. I know all about you.
What are you talking about?
Just come here.
Professor, help!
Don't interfere. Just hand the girl over to me. I'm telling you this for your own good. You're putting yourself in danger by associating with her. Do you know of the wandering beast stalking the woods in the Edmund territory? It is said that it attacks people every night and drags them off to feast. The true identity of the wandering beast is that girl right there.
No, I would never.
Marianne, adopted daughter of Margrave Edmund and heir to House Edmund. At first, she may seem like a sweet, soft-spoken, shy young girl, but Marianne is hiding something, even from the leaders of whichever house she is recruited to. Something so dark, so sinister, it would cause her to recuse herself from daily life, making friends, and developing any lasting and powerful bonds with the people around her. There is an awkwardness in any interaction she has. There is a distant but powerful pain and regret behind every word she utters. The secret Marianne harbors causes her great pain and internal conflict. It is killing her just as much left unsaid as it could if she shared it with the masses. Her adoptive father sent her to Garrick Mach with a sizable financial gift to not have her tested for a crest, for she bears the mark of the beast.
My apologies for getting you involved in that. In truth, that man has been following me ever since my father disappeared. He's a crest scholar. The crest that my father bore and was passed down to me, it was Maurice's crest. Yes, it's also known as the Crest of the Beast. It's said there were once 12 heroes who saved Fodlan. There was the King of Liberation, Nemesis, the 10 elites, and finally, Maurice. One day, Maurice suddenly transformed into a hideous beast and slaughtered innocent people. It was like when Miquelon of House Gautier turned into a black beast. The negative energy dwelling within his crest turned Maurice into a monster. The people of Fodlan grew to despise him, and he was stripped of his honor. His whole clan was conquered, and it was believed that his bloodline had vanished. But even now, there exists a few descendants who have inherited Maurice's crest and his curse. My family line is one of them.
Yes, Marianne lives every day of her life with the belief that the crest she bears can and will bring disaster to all those around her, to anyone she befriends, to anyone she loves. This causes her to isolate herself, living life alone. Her only friends are the animals she cares for and talks to daily, and the horses at the Garrick Mach stables. In our daily lives, we all know how difficult it can be to befriend others and build lasting bonds. Imagine if you were utterly convinced that doing so would lead to the demise of anyone whose lives you touched. Marianne feels outcast by the fate she was assigned at birth. Nobody knows what is really going on with her, though, so they see her as someone who is antisocial, awkward, and not enjoyable to be around, deepening her already unbearable feelings of guilt, exclusion, and resentment. There is hope, however.
Maurice's crest is a symbol of disaster. Anyone who comes in contact with it is met with great misfortune. Those who carry the crest become beasts at night and slaughter innocent people. Yes, the rumor about the wandering beast in the woods. People are saying the creature is similar in appearance to Maurice's bestial form. That may be true, but I doubt I could do it on my own. If you and some of the others came with me, though. Thank you. But, promise you won't tell anyone about my crest? I'm sorry to have to ask, but thank you.
Well done. Finally, this nightmare of 1,000 years is at its end. Oh, inheritor of my crest. If this body is to decay, then the sword, I leave it to you.
I still can't believe what we saw in that forest. The wandering beast's eviscerated body. Only human bones, and this sword remaining. Surely the creature's true identity was...
I'm sorry.
You again?
I heard rumor that the wandering beast was slain. But do you really believe that frees you of suspicion? Without proof that it was slain, the argument that you are not a beast does not stand. Furthermore, Huh? Oh, that sword!
When the wandering beast was defeated, this sword...
It's unmistakable. Carved into that sword's crest stone is Maurice's crest. But how would the lost magic blade end up with the wandering beast? According to what I know of Maurice's story, he didn't let go of the sword until the very end. That must mean... I see. So that's what happened. My apologies. It seems I was mistaken. I must be going.
So the wandering beast was... He was roaming the dark woods for over 1,000 years, suffering for his murderous past. It's true. And because of that, I feel as though my curse has been lifted. The blood of a beast no longer flows through me. I feel human for once.
Those words, "I feel human for once," cut deep. Once Byleth and the party aid her in defeating the beast that has been on her back since she was born, Marianne is truly free. In nearly all of the endings she is personally involved with, she either marries one of the house leaders or becomes a leader of House Edmund. She is spoken of as a great orator and queen in many of the endings. It warms my heart to see such a beautiful, talented soul be freed from her bonds and blossom into the great woman and leader she was always meant to become.
But I remember my stepmother, always sitting by the window sewing away.
I'm sure she would have been happy to teach you if you had asked.
She always looked so lonely when she was sewing, so unreachable. She was kind to me, yes, but when she was like that, it was hard to talk to her. I'm not certain she would have wished to teach me.
I'm so sorry, Dimitri. I didn't mean to bring up such difficult memories.
Don't worry about it. If I don't talk about those things sometimes, I'll risk forgetting them altogether. And that would truly be a shame.
I see.
Mercedes may just be the purest, most innocent soul in this whole game, and that is saying a lot with the hardships she has faced in her life. Born with the crest of Lamine, her father died when she was very young, and her mother and her were left with nothing when their noble house was abolished. Her mother married Baron Bartles shortly after. In a short time, they had a son who was also born with a crest. Having a proper heir with a crest, Bartles lost interest in her and her mother and treated them as expendable. Unable to bear the treatment any longer, her mother escaped with her to a church in the countryside and left House Bartles behind them. Her half-brother, now growing into a young man himself, found out that the fiendish Baron Bartles planned to take his stepdaughter as his bride and produce another child with a crest to widen his influence. He kills his father and all the members of House Bartles in a fit of rage and becomes the feared Death Knight in the process.
Dear son, I hope this letter finds you well, and that you and your sister aren't fighting too much. It's been some time since I left the church in the kingdom, but I'm making do. Once this war is over, I hope the three of us can live together again. She seems in good health.
Yes, she sent me this letter as soon as I wrote her about being reunited with you. I know she was happy to hear that. She was always so worried about you, you know? We haven't seen you since we left House Bartels, so please go visit her when you have a chance. As you read, we were thinking that after the war is over, we could perhaps reunite.
No.
Why not?
I cannot face her. I killed my father, slaughtered everyone in the house. Our mother shouldn't meet a murderer.
Yes, I heard about that. But I'm certain you took those actions because you felt you had to, right? Just explain it to her. She'll listen to you.
You do not understand. There is a murderous demon in my heart. The Death Knight inside me would cut you and our mother down without hesitation. If that happened, I would lose myself.
But we're here talking right now, and you're just as you always were. You're my little Emile who loves kittens and sweets.
Mercedes. I may be fine now, and perhaps the demon in me will even perish someday. But I cannot live with you until I pay for my crimes. And considering the weight of them, that day may never come.
But
I seek only to be judged by the law, and thereby atone.
so that's what you've decided, is it? In that case, I have no choice but to support you, no matter how sad it makes me. But just know that Mother and I will always be waiting for you, no matter how long it takes. I look forward to the day when you can show your face to her proudly.
I see.
We might both be old ladies by then. But we'll still be able to talk over tea like always.
Thank you, Mercedes.
Having now lived so much of her life for her mother, Baron Bartles, and now her new stepfather, Mercedes has resigned herself to simply do as others tell her, as she sees it as the will of the goddess. Though her faith remains strong, she has deep regrets and feels responsibility for having left her brother behind at House Bartles, leading to him becoming the Death Knight. During the Azure Moon route, she will be present as the Blue Lions target a strategic fort to start their campaign against the Empire. Sadly, the fort is guarded by none other than her own brother, Emile, Jaritza, the Death Knight.
Emile. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault for leaving you behind when I left House Bartels. I should have gone back for you sooner. I'm sorry for not being a better sister to you.
Mercedes.
Please forgive me, Emile.
Mercy, we need to go. Now.
Goodbye.
After the battle, holding her dying brother in her arms, Mercedes laments leaving him behind at House Bartles. Though awful circumstances kept them apart for most of their lives, in his final dying moments he is together with his sister. Mercedes has been used her entire life. She has moved from place to place, fought in numerous battles. She has remained selfless through it all. Even now, she feels responsible for the crimes he has committed and for him being this way. This is an incredibly sad and touching scene, but all is not lost. In my preferred ship for her, she marries Dmitri and uses that same selfless honor and piety to help rebuild and heal the land after the war. Bernadetta's story may be the most brutal and tragic of them all in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Count Varley insisted on having the perfect daughter to marry off into a more powerful house. His abuse of her was extreme, tying her to chairs, leaving her alone for hours on end, insisting she remain silent, forcing her to learn all domestic trades, and forbidding her from speaking to any commoners. All of this trauma had led Bernie to become a complete recluse, have extreme social anxiety, and a terrible fear of basically everyone. The abuse was bad enough to convince her estranged mother to have her basically kidnapped and hauled off to Garreg Mach for her own safety.
Being outside is so tiring. Tomorrow's gotta be just an inside day, Bernie. Whoa, why is it so cold all of a sudden? It's as if an unspeakable evil just...
You're late.
No! Into the light! Back to the beyond from whence you came!
Are you telling me to die?
Hubert!
In the flesh. I came to ask you something.
Oh no! What did I do? Think, Bernie, think!
There have been sightings of a sinister figure carrying a sharp object, wandering the halls at night. A strange giggle, the glimmer of a needle in the dark, the sound of a door creaking open and closed.
I was embroidering.
I suspected as much. Then you leave me no choice.
What? No, I'm too young to die. I've got so much left to do. Please don't kill me!
About what I expected.
It's no good. I can't run anymore.
That was quite a sprint. A shame you lack stamina. Now to my duty.
You're going to execute me, aren't you? Please, let me compose my last will and testament. Or at least a swan song. The creak of a door. Sorrow like a needle point. Bernie's gone away.
Bernadetta, a word of caution. How would you feel if you fell or bumped into someone while carrying around that needle? Please watch where you're going in the future. How did you manage to faint while standing up?
Bernadetta's time at Garreg Mach starts off rough. She is known for hiding in her room and only being willing to talk to other students and her instructors through the door to her room. She lived her life in the off hours, late at night, sneaking around to pursue her hobbies or enjoy the carnivorous plants in the garden. She would often outright flee from battle or stay in the rear. She was very much still living under the crushing weight of her past.
Hubert?
Yes?
I wanted to thank you for the other day, you know, when I fainted. Thank you for carrying me back to my room.
That was nothing. It saved me effort in the long run. Leaving you there would have just caused even more trouble.
I guess that's true. Well, thanks. There, I said it, and now I'm going.
Is this why you've been circling me like a vulture for the last several hours?
Vulture's a bit... well, yes.
Yet you would have fled if I'd approached. It seems you will avoid me at almost any cost.
Well, that's...
You don't need to say it. I know. I'm frightening. I'm told so often.
Please don't laugh like that!
Apologies. I will be mindful not to laugh in your presence from now on.
The grin of death itself? Terrifying!
You think so?
Oh no, now you're angry too!
Hardly. I'm sorry to have frightened you.
No, you're not! It's a trick! You're lulling me into a false sense of security! I can't stand it!
Bernadetta's story differs from the others in this video, though, as there is no great moment of absolution or a stunning event. The silver lining to all this is how much all of the house members, regardless of whom she is aligned with, try and help her come out of her shell, overcome her extreme fears, and become more confident not only in her communication and social skills, but in herself in general as well.
A summons from Bernadetta? How historic.
I've got something to give you.
Do you? What is it?
A token of apology for all the rude stuff I've said. It's only right. I hope this will help you let go of all the grudges you're probably holding against me.
There are no grudges, but very well. I'll accept it.
You will? Great! Here you go.
Some kind of embroidery. A flower. This is certainly lovely, but why give it to me? It seems like something you would send to a female friend or someone you had romantic feelings for.
But it's, lovely, you said, right? That's why. If you wear it, maybe you'll look less, terrifying.
You would like me to wear this?
You hate it, don't you? I knew it. I knew you'd be angry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Why not? Do I put it here? It really is quite nice. I cannot say that it suits me, but...
No, it does. It looks great on you.
It is truly a beautiful thing to see this precious girl slowly become more confident and comfortable in both Three Houses and Three Hopes. If you can't tell, I adore the coupling of her and Hubert. It brings joy to my heart to read their wedding epilogue and see that not only are they a great match personally, but they work incredibly well together to make the land a better place. In a nasty and disgusting world, both in this game and our real life, it is so refreshing to see someone as downtrodden as Bernie find peace and happiness in the end. In conclusion, Fire Emblem Three Houses in many ways is a tragedy. Many of the students and characters will end up fighting one another. Many of them will die. But the beauty in it is, unlike life, we can start over as many times as we want to make sure everyone has a happy ending. Thank you for watching.